Okay,
Yes.
welcome everyone.
Welcome.
We are doing Healy and the Holidays today, and we're going to be talking about why Healy is the #1 gift of 2021. We were supposed to do this event at Balance Chiropractic, where I work, but we decided to do Zoom. So let me first introduce myself. I am Ashley Sachs. I am a microcurrent specialist. I work out of Balance Chiropractic in Centerville, Delaware. I am a licensed esthetician and also a Reiki master. And my personal mission is to redefine beauty and mental health. I think that they're very linked. And so that's kind of why my esthetician and my Reiki master kind of combined. And I now specialize in microcurrent. It's the perfect marriage of the two. So like I said, we were supposed to do this event at Balance Chiropractic in Centerville, Delaware. It's supposed to be an in-person event. And then we decided that for convenience of all the people who wanted to watch it, but were shopping during this time or had events already going on, we decided it would be best if we did a Zoom event, and then we could share the recording with all of you who weren't able to make it in person. So we just wanted to make it easier and more convenient for everyone, which is exactly what Healy is all about. So I want to first introduce Dr. Tobi. She is the owner of Balance Chiropractic where I work. So I'm just going to let her pop in. She was so lovely to join us on this Sunday. She's a busy mom of 3.
Hi, ladies.
Hi. So Tobi is the owner of Balance Chiropractic in Centerville, Delaware. Been a chiropractor since 2000, and she specializes in the torque release technique, TRT. So I'm just going to let her kind of introduce herself and tell us why she invited Healy into her practice, and me.
Hi, everybody. Well, I think serendipity is the biggest word here playing, right? So when we opened Balance Chiropractic 6 months ago, I had intentions of creating a healing space for, the Delaware, PA area. And I didn't know who I wanted to bring in, but I knew I wanted a variety of different practitioners. And so microcurrent wasn't actually on my list. And so I think that I wanted massage and craniosacral and Reiki and, definitely different energy healers. We have a yoga studio, so I wanted Tai Chi Cha and Qigong and meditation and all of that. But I didn't really know anyone that was doing microcurrent. And so about a year ago, a friend of mine who's a naturopath in New Hampshire had introduced me to the Healy. She's kind of like my fairy godmother, I call her. And she was the first licensed naturopath in the state of New Hampshire. And she said, Tobi, you really need to check out this Healy. I've been using it with my patients. I've been seeing great results. And there's also, microcurrent practitioners around that you can go see. And I have 3 children. I have twin boys that are 8.5. My daughter's 10. And one of my twins was brain injured from birth. And so we're always trying to do different things for him to let him live the fullest potential that he can, so that he can be more like his identical twin. And so when Pamela first told me about Healy, I said, listen, I'm too busy. I don't really have time for anything else on my plate right now, but I'll check it out. And she knows that that's usually what I say when she sends me things. And so then she has to spoon feed me. And so she said, then she sent me the book, The Resonance Effect by Dr. Carolyn McMakin, which is about microcurrent. She happens to be a chiropractor, so she knew she'd touch a nerve with that. So I read the book, and she then said, I'm going to send you to a practitioner in Pennsylvania. And she gave me the name of a chiropractor, and I think his massage therapist was doing microcurrent in the office. And we did end up going at the end of last year with Berkeley. I think we went 6 weeks in a row, and then Christmas came and New Year's came, and I kind of just put it on hold. And then, opening the business came, and so we've still put it on hold, but we had a great experience there. And I definitely saw some changes with Berkeley by using the microcurrent. It definitely relaxed him and just helped with his muscle tone. And he's not very relaxed in his body. He's very tight and tense. So I got to see that. That was a nice change. And so then I ended up hearing, I think, Ashley's name mostly from a patient, a family of patients. And I think I kind of was not, at first I didn't jump on it. And then eventually we started talking, and then I was like, oh, you have the Healy. Yeah, I've heard of that. And so then, well, I won't get into more details, but that's how Ashley and I were introduced. And I know Kristen from the past. So great group of ladies to be practicing. And so now I don't have to do the Healy, but Ashley can do the Healy in the practice. And we've already, she's already seen the changes with a bunch of patients that have been seeing her, and people are really loving what she has to offer and seeing great changes in their own lives. So I'm definitely a big supporter and super happy to have it, at my practice. So.
Thank you. And what would you say, because you said to me that you're pretty surprised by like the conversion rate of people who sit down to actually see what Healy is all about to book a session. Is that something that usually takes time for people?
For sure. I mean, we have a bunch of different practitioners, and, some things like massage are taken to a little bit more quickly and easily because people have heard of that. They've had it before. It's in the office, so it's, easily offered, one-stop shopping. But the microcurrent, most people have never even heard of that. And I might touch on it a tad when I'm with somebody, but more so I'm just saying, let me introduce you to Ashley, and she's gonna speak with you. And it's almost surprising how many people I have go sit with Ashley and then schedule with Ashley before they leave, for the next week. And so I think that's kind of, it's a very high conversion rate. Like, I think your energy is amazing, and definitely your passion and confidence in the product that you offer, which I like that, because that's how I feel about my field. Like, I love it. I'm super passionate about it and confident in the torque release and everything. And so when I see someone else that has that same drive and energy and what they are offering, I mean, that's amazing. So I think people really feel that energy from you. But then I think you're wowing them with, when you set them up on a session and you do just a intro scan, whatever you're offering them is enticing them to schedule, right? So it's like you're giving them information that maybe they didn't know about themselves, or maybe they knew but no one else did, and then you're pulling it up from the Healy. And I think it's surprising people for sure. And so then they're like, all right, I really want to see what this thing has to offer. But also, the pain management section, like that's kind of what we had first started with, is we were going to do, let's just focus on pain management. We know Healy has this, and this, and can offer so many different things to people and help in so many different ways. But most people who come to see me are in pain. And there's many other things, but that's their main reason for seeing a chiropractor typically, until they learn more about, well-being and such and health. But the Healy helps them to really get to the bottom of what is lacking in health in their body, right? And things that they don't really know what to do for it. So yes, it can help with the pain management aspect, but then, and you have some digestive problems and some hormonal imbalances and sleep issues. And, oh, by the way, you're dehydrated, like things like that, and taking their healing and their health to a whole nother level and putting it like their responsibility for being able to now detect what the problem is and helping them improve upon their health naturally, which is what we all want, I think, in this office, in this practice. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I don't know if you're allowed, or if your children are going to allow you to stay on the whole call, but if you,
I'll be listening.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
And now we're going to introduce Kristen, this beautiful woman sitting next to me.
Wow, that was an incredible share. Thank you so much. It really resonates with me, and I'll share why. But my name is Kristen Wister, and I learned about Healy through this lovely lady. And I'll never forget when she called me. She said, Kristen, found out about this really cool new device that it has a beauty program, and it does microcurrent, and it will scan your aura field, and it's like Reiki in a machine. And you were so excited
and vomited all over you.
You did.
Because Kristen was a client of mine as an esthetician.
Right. So I was familiar with microcurrent, and I was actually familiar with scalar energy, which is another type of energy that the Healy utilizes. And after she told me about it, I was a solid yes. I hadn't even seen it. I haven't experienced it. I'm like, I want to buy it. I just knew. And my background is in interior design, but I had been in the energy world or esoteric world or holistic world for a long time, because after the birth of my second child, I went into a severe postpartum depression, which lasted for a period of 20 years. And I'm really glad I didn't know that way back then. But I went through some really dark cycles, like 7 cycles where I had to completely withdraw and I didn't even recognize myself. And early on, I got really frustrated with doctors that just wanted to prescribe medication for me. And I was in a kind of a one size fits all box. And I think I could almost cry hearing what you said, Dr. Tobi, because had I had more access to doctors like you back then who were willing to empower me versus just telling me to take a medication after medication, I ended up feeling unempowered, and it was a battle for me. And so as I sought different modalities, I ended up coming into feng shui because I'm all about beautifying homes and the connection between our inner homes and our outer homes and how our homes reflect everything in our lives. And so I became, now what I do with my clients is I help them create a sacred union between their self, their inner home, their mind, body, and spirit with that of their outer home, so that they can thrive in their environment and their environment can support them for who they're becoming and their highest, greatest potential in their self. I'm also well, I call myself a sacred lifestyle designer. So that's kind of the word that I'm encompassing with all of this. I'm the creator of the Ladybird Loft, which is a beautiful sanctuary space. We're in it right now. And I created it out of everything that I love. And I want to create spiritual nourishment and educational empowerment. And then right now I'm also leading Sophia Circle Journeys, which is a deeper dive in the Sophia Code. And it's all about embracing more of your higher self embodiment through divine feminine Christ consciousness and awakening the divine sovereignty within. And so everything that I'm doing is about empowering people to live their highest frequency living. And I feel like Healy just totally was the missing piece of the puzzle for me that really helped me kind of pull it all together and help me to tap into what it is that I needed. And now I'm just so excited to share it as part of the services that I offer and just helping myself and others and friends and family. It's just been amazing. So I'm happy to share.
Yeah, I really like that you said that, because I was trying to think of the words, but they weren't coming to me. It was the missing puzzle for me too, as an esthetician and an energy worker. Yeah. It was like I was helping people in the beauty world, but like I was like their therapist. So I wasn't really helping them in the way that I wanted to. Right. Of course, I'm making you look beautiful, but am I making you actually feel beautiful? Not really. And then when Healy came into my life, I felt like it was the perfect marrying of the two. So thank you for saying that.
And it works with so many different types of professions. It's interesting because I wasn't looking for anything else to do. Like, this was not something that I was ready to start a whole nother part of my life, but it took me. It just wooed me over, and you as well. So.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So we're just going to talk a little bit about science before we get into why Healy is the #1 gift this holiday season. Science now proves that the universe and everything in it, including us, is made up of pure energy. This is no longer a woo-woo statement. This is proven science. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that is exactly what Healy is. We're going to get into the science, but a little bit here. It's supposed to be a lighter holiday event, but we are going to get into the science a little bit.
So how technology will change business in 2021. We've been written up by Forbes, which is really amazing. Taryn Lee, Healy's World's global ambassador, says, in the coming years, there will be a rush by both medical and technology companies to further crack the frequency codes on how energy networks work within our bodies and brains. And they will use that knowledge to design interventions into our electromagnetic fields to prevent disease and boost physical and mental health. It will create entirely new medical approaches, new products, and new business models. Yeah,
this is a very, very cutting edge. Why would Healy, or why would Forbes even cover Healy? And as a matter of fact, Healy was just introduced into the US May of 2020. So the fact that Forbes got on it like the same time that it got launched. I mean, it's just very cutting edge. It's not a surprise that most people haven't heard about it yet.
Yeah.
But you will. You will. And we were also written up in the Yogi Times. I want to quote it, but I also want to let you know, if you were to go to this article, it is a little outdated with the pricing and the additions that they offer in that article. So if you go to Google and look up Healy Yogi Times and read the whole article, just know that the pricing are a little outdated. So we're blown away by and this was more of like a review. So it's a really good article to read. We are blown away by the accuracy of the scans we performed on ourselves and some of our closest friends and family. Each time it seems that the device accurately identifies what each person needs to improve or address at the moment. In addition to long-time physical or mental issues, in addition to long-time physical or mental issues, can we share that one night we had a single sip, literally, of a glass of white wine, and after running the scan, the Healy suggested the alcohol program. Wow, we felt caught. After a few months of use now, we can definitely say the accuracy of the scans has confirmed our intuition to have found something unique in the realm of wellness and frequency therapy. So it was a really good article.
Yeah, that's a great article. Very exciting. So what is Healy?
What is Healy?
It is a mobile personal wellness device that utilizes microcurrent and scalar energy to improve all aspects of the human body and human experience. And it works on, this is what makes it so interesting. It's not just working on the physical body, but it also taps into the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. So it's a merging of science and spirituality. And it's just so unique. And Healy taps into the language of frequency, and that's what it's all about. It's very, very exciting. It's hard to really sum it up in one or two sentences because there's so much to it.
Yeah, and we're going to read the disclaimer. Do you want to go to the next slide? Because Healy it's just revolutionizing the health industry. There are companies and industries that are not happy about it, pharmaceutical companies being one of them. So I'm going to read this because compliance is very important to Healy. So Healy is a microcurrent medical device that has been cleared by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration only for local relief of acute, chronic, and arthritis pain and muscle soreness due to overexertion. Healy also has non-medical applications that use individualized microcurrent frequencies, IMF, to harmonize your bioenergetic field. The individualized microcurrent frequency programs of the Healy are not medical applications and are not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent disease, and have not been reviewed by the FDA. The information on these pages is for reference and educational purposes only. It should not be treated as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You should always seek such advice from a qualified medical professional.
Well done. There we go. That's out of the way.
Got that out of the way.
So the science.
Yeah, let's go into the science just a little bit.
Yeah. The human body is comprised of 9 systems. And what actually makes up these systems? So we are made of all these tissues and organs, and they are made out of cells, which are made out of molecules. And over the past 100 years, doctors have focused more on the molecular structure. But now we're getting more into quantum physics, which molecules are made out of atoms. And what are atoms made out of? They're made out of subatomic particles. And what makes that up is energy, frequency, and information. So this is the foundation of what Healy is working with. Is everything is frequency. Everything has energy, and there's so much information in there. And when you tap into that, you can really go a lot deeper into the science.
Yeah, and I think what's so can prove this point is the amount of people, I'm sure anyone watching this call either knows someone or is someone who have been to the doctor and the doctor couldn't figure out what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
And you have, you were a
perfect example.
Example of that. Yeah. But just it's because we're not just a bag of meat. There's something going on deeper, and science is now figuring out that if we work with the energy of a person, starting with the cells, then we can transform the whole being.
Absolutely. And tapping into the emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects, which is part of this whole information field
Mhm.
that we carry around us all the time.
Mhm. So how does Healy work? I like to use the example of a flashlight. So if you look at a flashlight and you put a battery in, the light is going to be super bright because the battery is fresh and it's charged, and so it shines the brightest. But over time, that light gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until it just dies altogether and you have to replace the battery. Well, we as human beings are like a flashlight. And when we're young, our cells are our batteries and we are shining brightly and we heal quickly and we're happy and we don't have all of the problems that we do as we age. But when we age, and then there's toxins, and then there's the environment, and then there's stress, and blah, 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 our cells begin to dim and eventually die off. And so Healy works with the cells to charge your battery, to charge your whole body. So your body can do the healing. Healy isn't what's healing you. Healy is charging your cells so that your body can heal itself, because we know that if we have a cut, the body miraculously just heals it. That's, your body naturally knows how to heal itself. But because there's all these imbalances, it can't. And that's where all the problems that bring you into a doctor, that's how they occur. And so Healy is correcting those imbalances on a level that we can't even fully understand, so the body can heal itself.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. A little more science.
Yep. So the effects of microcurrent. This is always very exciting. It increases the amino acid transport up to 40%, and amino acids are the building blocks for protein synthesis of the cell. And then that also increases the protein synthesis up to 70%. And the protein synthesis is the process by which the proteins are formed to build the cells. It means creating physical life, following the central blueprint stored as DNA in each of our cells. And then it increases ATP production by 5,000%.
ATP is such a
buzzword
right now.
And that's what stores energy in our cells, similar to gasoline in a car's gas tank. It is produced in the cell by the mitochondria, and they are the power producing plants within the cell of the body. So the more energy we have in our cells, the healthier we are.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. And this is all through microcurrent.
Okay, so I think this is our last sciencey slide, and then we'll get more into the fun testimonial stuff. So how does Healy work? Why is Healy different? Because it is important to know that there are a lot of microcurrent devices out there. Why is Healy different? Why is Healy the only one of its kind? It's because when you hook somebody up, so say we run a scan, I run a scan on Kristen, and it says that we need to, the top of the list is her liver is a little out of balance.
Yeah.
Maybe she's been having a happy holiday season and her liver is a little out of balance. And so liver is the top thing that we want to bring back into balance. So I'm going to run one of the liver programs for her, or a purification program, but it'll tell us which is the top program that we want to run for her. So we'll hook her up. And then what it does is it literally reads her and finds out where, like what voltage level she needs to bring her cells back into alignment so that her liver can heal itself. And then it sends that information back to the Healy, so the Healy then delivers it. And it's a loop, and it's customizing a program for Kristen. And so if I ran the liver program at the same time as Kristen ran a liver program, they would be two completely different programs, because our cells are different. And that's the missing link in medicine right now, is because everybody's so different.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we both want to heal our livers, but we have different voltage of cells and different energy and different trauma backgrounds, and just so much that's different.
It could be anger issues for you.
Yeah.
Because there's 400 to 500 frequencies within liver. So it's going to pick different frequencies based on the physical body, but also emotional, mental. And maybe for me, it's because I had too much to drink. So,
she drinks too much, and I'm angry.
I don't know.
So there we go. Okay, so it is really important to know that Healy does customize programs for you. So
yeah, which
Okay, that's
makes
how it works.
Which makes it very special and unique.
Okay, so this is like the fun
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
We're kind of just going to make this into a little conversation. We do have some people who are going to pop on with the testimonial. So we're going to talk about why Healy is the #1 gift this year. And really it's because it's for everyone. We're going to go through this, but it's for the health seeker, the fitness fanatic, the beauty lover, the science and longevity enthusiast, the professional, the student, our loved ones needing mental health support, energy lovers and light workers, and so much more. It's
so much
literally
great,
for
yeah.
everyone.
It is for everyone. And I think that's a big part that people don't really understand yet. And so this, I think, is a very creative way of describing how you can use it in every aspect of your life.
Okay, so the health seeker, just somebody who wants to get healthy. You know, we got New Year's resolutions coming up and everyone's always like, I want to be healthy. Well, what does that really mean? So anyone who's trying to get healthy, there's programs that are going to help you purify your body, take care of your body, balance your body. There's programs for your emotional body, to increase your energy, to help you relax and release things that no longer serve you, release things that you don't even know you have stored in there, things that you thought that you've dealt with because you're an adult. And so you've dealt with these things, but they're still living inside the body. And so there's programs for releasing. There's the well-being programs for your body, mind, and spirit, bioenergetic harmony. This is, I wish that I counted it before. I mean, I literally use it every single day.
Yeah.
There's probably at least 30 programs in there, and it's more specific to organs and
Issues like hormones, gastrointestinal,
our favorite
food sensitivities, things like that. Yeah, it's like that everyday kind of thing. It's like we use the gastrointestinal quite a bit when we've eaten something that doesn't resonate, and immediately it'll just be, ooh, you just feel that relief. It's fascinating.
Yeah, everybody wants more sleep or better sleep. There's a whole sleep program with programs to help you if you have problems getting to sleep, if you have problems getting into the deep sleep, if you need more balanced sleep. And I will tell you, I will say this testimony because I literally the past 2 days have been using it every single night. The bed rest program is my favorite program. And there's certain times during my cycle where I don't sleep through the night. And if I don't sleep, like just like all of us,
Pretty miserable.
it's miserable. So what I do is I do it to go to sleep, but then I actually wear my Healy to bed with me. And in the middle of the night when I wake up, instead of stressing about how I'm going to get back to sleep, I push the button, the bed rest program turns back on, and I go back to sleep. I think I did mine 3 times in the middle of the night, and I got an amazing night's sleep.
And it feels like it's such a supportive system to you.
It's like my little doctor.
It is. It's your little best friend. And yeah. And
sorry,
so
I thought I turned it
we
off.
also have digital nutrition, which is, we haven't even used that yet. There's so much to it, but that is a complete program on nutrition, which is by subscription only, but absolutely fascinating. Actually,
Unless
it
you
isn't, unless you get a different model.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I just started working with a health coach who is going to implement the digital nutrition into her practice. And so when people come to me and like that's something that they need help with, I can just send them to her because there's just so much in that program. And then there's the Deep Cycle program, which is like just a deep, full, complete reset of all your major systems. And that's definitely one that we don't want to recommend to anyone right from the beginning. That's something that you'll have to work with your Healy for a little bit before you do that.
Yeah, because it goes deep. It certainly does. And then we have frequencies for the homeopathic healer material, Medica, creative homeopathy, Schlusser salts. There are just so many different types of frequencies. Instead of actually taking the homeopathic remedy, you can receive the frequency of it, and you can use it in combination. If as you scan yourself, you see that you keep coming up with the similar issues, it does help you kind of narrow down what might be most beneficial for you. So that's a great way in using some of these, where you start to see pattern after pattern. It's like, okay, maybe I will supplement with this, or maybe I will add this into my healing practice.
For the fitness fanatic, we have heard, we both work out. But we have heard from she's a yoga teacher and just a friend of ours. She runs with her Healy on doing the stamina program. And she says she can run faster and longer than she's ever been able to. People are always like, what is that? And she doesn't even understand how it works, but she understands she can run longer and faster when she uses it. So anyone who's in the fitness world, or for people who are interested in losing weight, this can help them with the weight program, the muscle program, the circulation program, performance, strength, stamina, regeneration. I mean, I know of people who are in their 60s and 70s who say that they're in the best shape of their life because they implement this into their other practice, and it's just doing something on the cellular level that they've never been able to do before.
It's totally different from, I think there's some really advanced fitness watches and things. This is just in combination for those fitness fanatics that are really into it. It's interesting to see how that can really enhance. I lifted the other day, and I lifted a little too hard, and I had a lot of lactic acid going on. And I scanned my body, and the very top one came up fitness. And then I went into the fitness program, and the very top one was muscle. So it totally read that I had a lot of lactic acid in my muscles, and it just continues to blow you away. So
did it help you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It was amazing. It just I recovered faster. Now, next time I know that when I really push myself and I might be experiencing a lot of lactic acid, I can be proactive, because sometimes when you work out really hard, there's a delay in that lactic acid. So I'm just starting to use this program more frequently as well.
It's really just getting, like, helping you get more in tune with your body.
Yeah, it really is.
It's an empowerment health tool.
Exactly. Yep.
There we go.
That's what we love about it.
Okay, we could talk the entire time about the beauty lover, because that's really what I am as an esthetician, and I've always been into beauty, as is Kristen. So there's an aging program, there's a skin elasticity program, there's a skin impurities program for people, with things like eczema and rosacea, which is a huge, a lot of people are dealing with rosacea, which is, a form of inflammation. So scars, hair, nails, youth. We've got a couple fun testimonies on this one.
Well, with I had experienced a lot of stress through all of those years of dealing with anxiety, and my hair ended up being absolutely just thin and weak. And over the past year, I've noticed such a difference with my hair. It has made a complete difference to my hair. It just feels like, Ashley was asking me, like, what's it? Well, you've said that you've noticed a difference.
I've always said that stuff to Kristen. I'm like, your hair looks longer. Thicker.
And now I'm able to grow it longer, and it just feels different. It's like there's more of it. I've scanned myself on the beauty program quite a bit, because I want to keep myself looking as young and healthy as possible, and doing it in a healthy way. And what's interesting was that I kept getting nails as the number one thing that I needed to deliver to my body. And I kept thinking, I really don't care about my nails. I want to work on skin elasticity and aging and hair. And but I repetitively kept scanning myself over time and seeing that my body kept asking for nails. And so when I finally did the nails program one day, I hooked myself up through the microcurrent, ran that program, and I can't explain it, but I literally felt high.
I'm chilled right now.
It was just the weirdest thing. My whole body responded in this way that was just, Kristen, this is what you need. Because remember that within that one program, there's 400 to 500 frequencies. So I wouldn't have known that, that was what I needed. But the intelligence of my body connecting with the Healy, and that's through the inflammation field, is what directs what is best. And so you can use your intuition as well, but also it's a really great tool for you to also kind of dig a little deeper and tap into this information field that your body is saying, right now you need nails. And that was pretty amazing.
And that's why, like, I when you're watching all these commercials and whatever on aging, and they're all like, you want to grow your hair, and you got to use this serum. It's like, but like, maybe your body doesn't need that serum. Maybe it needs emotional,
support or vitamin E, or,
Right,
like when
exactly.
if maybe it needs something completely different. And
Yeah.
that is that one size fits all that I think we've all been in, and this kind of just blows that out of the water.
Yeah. My twin sister also, she deals with mental health issues and lost a lot of her hair, like to the point where she was scared that she had something else going on. And she started doing this and doing the hair program once a day, along with mental health programs. And she texted me all caps. She was like, my hair is growing. She's so excited. So yeah, a lot of really good stories with the beauty programs.
And I think in general, Healy helps to calm the nervous system.
Yeah.
So when your nervous system is calm, then your body can start to really heal itself, right?
Yeah, that's one more story on this, I swear, because we do have lots to cover. But there's a Facebook page. It's called the Facebook or the Frequency Experience, and there's just thousands of testimonies in there. And this one woman showed a picture of her skin a couple of weeks in, and she looked like she was 2 decades younger. Now, the esthetician in me is like, there's no way that this woman just used Healy. And so there's hundreds of comments, but I decided to comment, and I was like, I'm an esthetician. Like, what else are you doing? And she responded and saying, I'm not even doing just the beauty programs. I do about 1 beauty program a week. I'm doing more so like the purification program, the detox, the stress relief. And so when you are working on things like that, like stress and just purifying the body, you're naturally going to look better. And so that's like what Healy does.
Yeah, it almost looked like she was a completely different.
It looked
all
like
the
an
darkness.
exorcism.
It really did. She looked like
If you're
totally
interested,
different.
let us know. We'll send you the picture. But it was wild.
But she looks amazing.
Okay. All right. Next one. Okay.
Yeah.
It's science and longevity enthusiast. Okay, so this is where Healy gets like really deep. On the surface level, it's for everyone. So you don't have to understand all this stuff if it's over your head, like that's totally fine. Which for me, it kind of was in the beginning, but it has programs like vitalization, stem cells, epigenetics, regeneration, and vital substances. And this is where I'm actually going to invite on Anna to speak. Anna is, she's a healer. She's the owner of the Wild Aura. She's an incredible healer. You'll have to look her up.
Look her up.
But she is sciencey. And she wanted to get to the bottom of how all of this works. And she has the most incredible testimony. So I'm going to let Anna come on and share.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. I feel so special. So which of the many testimonials from me do you want? Because I've had so many amazing experiences, and I'm assuming you're talking about the SCAR system one, because so I have been dealing with buildup of scar tissue in my, like over my left cornea over the past 16 plus years. And when I first got the Healy, I wasn't really sure how to use it or what I was going to use it for. I just knew that it resonated with me, and intuitively I was drawn to it, and it was just, I knew that I was meant to have it. And so, but once I got it, I wasn't too sure what I was meant to do with it. I just knew I loved the quantum physics aspect of it, and the way that it worked with the scalar energy. And so it really wasn't until I realized that I hadn't been to the eye doctor in a very long time, and I wanted to make sure that my vision wasn't getting any worse. And so I started using it for my left eye, the scar tissue in my left eye. And I used it every day for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, specifically on scar systems, running it for the scar tissue in my body. And my body would scan for scar system anyway. It would come up that that's what my body most resonated with, which wasn't a surprise to me because I've had like 10 surgeries in my life, and have buildup of scar tissue just from surgeries alone too. So I would run the scar systems and scars local with microcurrent and with the scalar energy aspect of it. Did that for about a week and a half prior to just a random checkup with my eye doctor, just to kind of see where things were with my eye. And when I went to the appointment, they did my eye test and they said, well, this is really interesting. You haven't been here in 3 years. And my eyes were testing, like my eyesight, I was losing my eyesight consistently over the past 16 years. And they said, your test is the equivalent to what your eyesight was 5 years ago. And that my eyesight has since improved since, like, taking me back 5 years of scar tissue buildup. So it's clearly breaking down things. They asked me what I was doing differently. And I told them that I was doing microcurrents. And they basically were just like, okay, well, we're just gonna write here that you're experimenting with frequencies and microcurrents, and, you know, basically like brushing off the responsibility that what I was doing, they didn't want to be held liable for in any way. But they were like, well, I don't think that that's something that could, you know, break down 16 years plus of scar tissue buildup. And I was like, okay, whatever you think. But I've been consistently doing the scar systems programs, specifically for the scar tissue in my left eye. And I test myself now. I have started kind of creating my own little eye chart and seeing how far away I need to be and how, like, is my vision getting better. And it's almost like an ongoing thing. But I would say, like, to have a doctor, like someone that specializes in my specific case, say, I mean, it's kind of incredible that you've broken down 5 years of scar tissue that's been consistently getting worse to taking you back 5 years. I mean, I'm reversing whatever is going on. And so really the only change that I've ever made was introducing Healy into my life, and deciding that I was going to heal this. And intention is everything when using the Healy device. So that's just one of the very, like, many testimonials that I have just from playing around with the Healy. I like ones that I typically find, because I use the Healy device also in my business, and when I work with clients. And one of the things that I've noticed, even just using it on myself and my clients, is immune system. If somebody is getting a cold, it will tell me that somebody's about to get a cold before they get a cold. I've had that happen so many times for me, and I'm like, oh, immune system's coming up again. And usually, if I don't run any immune system programs, the next day I'm snotty, my throat's sore, and then I can run programs that instantly are taking swelling out of my lymph nodes. I've had swelling in my lymph nodes before and ran it for that, and had literally just put the device itself on the left side of my throat and had swelling completely reduced on the left side and had a little bit left on the right side. And it's just as simple as just like where you're placing it, how you're using it, the intention for it. And, you know, you're basically protecting yourself from getting colds, and, like, you know, you're improving the immune system in general for protecting yourself from viruses, bacteria. Like, it's just, there's so many benefits I could go on, but that's basically, you know, I've used this device in so many different ways, and it's absolutely amazing. And I'm still learning. There's just so much about it. Like, you can't cover it in 5 minutes or an hour. There's so much to it.
Yeah, and that's why I
Yeah.
wanted you to talk under the this category, because you're always experimenting in ways
Yeah.
that the rest of us learn from. So
Thank you.
I like to play with it. I
there.
like, I'm my own little like
Yeah.
researcher. I just like, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
anyone else has someone in their family, it's just like, this person is such a science person, and they love wellness. This is the best gift you could possibly gift them.
Absolutely.
That's why I bought it. I mean, I spoke to Ashley and I have always been into the quantum physics aspect of things and neuroscience, and even understanding epigenetics and the work that I do from an energy healing perspective. I work with the epigenetic aspect to, you know, where we store these traumas that are passed down through generations. And it's kind of amazing because even what I can do and pick up by working with someone's energy and muscle testing, this device can find that much and more. So it's kind of like having this assistant in my pocket that I can use at any time. And, you know, it's really amazing that we're not just clearing this, you know, generational stuff from our system, but we're also helping to proactively stop cycles moving forward. And so there's even bigger healing going on when you're doing it for yourself. You're also healing future generations without even realizing it. And I think that's really powerful. So anyway, that's all I gotta say.
For sharing.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
You're welcome.
And if I come up with anything else, I'll be like, oh yeah, Anna has a great testimony.
She
Stay
does.
tuned.
I have so many. It's
Yeah,
insane.
I know.
It's a beautiful share. I love that.
Yeah,
Yep.
me too. Okay, moving on.
So for the professionals and students, there's all sorts of different things to help you focus and concentrate. Activation is a fantastic one. It's kind of like having an energetic cup of coffee. Do you use that one?
Yeah, except I cut out caffeine like a year ago, so I don't drink coffee, but I know when I had my withdrawal from caffeine, like the addiction that students and professionals are like, they can't function without their coffee. Right. And oh yeah, Anna, you're actively going through this right now too. Have you, Anna, have you done the activation program? Have you tried that?
I have not. And I will say, so I've been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, you name it, like, you know, so it's really interesting because the learning programs come up for me a lot. But I have not used the activation programs yet for coffee, and I probably should. So that's another thing.
Yeah. First thing in the morning, try it. I know one person who said, and this is, every person is different.
Yeah, right.
But I remember he said that he kicked his coffee addiction in, did he say 1 day or 1 week?
I don't know. I didn't
It was
hear that
Mark.
one. Oh yeah, that's right.
It was either 1 day or 1 week, just from doing the activation program.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what's interesting that you said that ADD and ADHD,
Everyone has that.
Yeah, but certain people have it more, and I've noticed that that the learning program does come up definitely when that's happening, and it would be really interesting to follow someone and see how that helps them, because a lot of these programs here, it brings more oxygen into the brain. I mean, we don't really know how this stuff works, but it's just so amazing. I definitely use concentration or focus, or there's tons of them before I'm doing something like this, or if I really have to study or focus, just because I need that. It's nice to have that extra frequency helping me out. And who doesn't want a better memory? Or then there's also programs for exhaustion and stress and fatigue, because we deal with all that when we're studying or we're working hard and things like that. And those programs are just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of information that is at our disposal is insane. And students are right now, all levels, from little kids all the way into college and,
Yeah, they're
and
stressed.
beyond. They're
Mhm.
everyone's stressed,
Yeah.
and what are they doing to help them stay focused for exams and class and stuff? Well, a lot of them are taking medication,
Mhm.
and a lot of people I know personally in my own life, they get addicted to
Mhm.
medication. They don't think that they can live without it. So we're setting, people up for failure just by giving them meds for something that could be helped with just bringing oxygen to the brain.
Mhm.
Just sitting down at the end of the night after a stressful day and doing the stress relief program,
Mhm.
or instead of cramming all night and being so depleted for an exam, run the exam program.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
one thing that I didn't put up here, but I've really think would be interesting, your mom could use it.
Mhm.
I didn't put on here the elderly. I didn't think that was, I don't know why I didn't put it on, but I was thinking, like, our elderly who are
Yeah.
living longer and longer these days and having all kinds of problems with memory, dementia, Alzheimer's. The memory program alone, if they just did that daily, would be
Yeah,
amazing.
it would be really amazing
and
to see.
huge.
Yeah.
So yes, the professionals and the students can
Yes.
definitely benefit from these programs. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
For our loved ones needing mental health support. So, okay, I'm sitting here thinking, because I know so many people with mental health issues. I actually run a program called the Lightworkers Collective, where a bunch of women come in and support each other. And the amount of mental health that is needed, not just for ourselves, but our families, is unbelievable. And then we're in the middle of a pandemic. Everybody needs help with mental support.
Yes.
So when you're thinking about giving someone a gift this holiday season, the people who need mental health support would just be indebted, truly indebted.
Yeah.
If they were gifted this gift, Healy, for these programs, the mental balance program. And when it says acute, that is when you're dealing with something right now. So, perhaps we're always stressed out, but if someone has an episode, let's just say, and right now they are feeling super depressed, super anxious, there are programs for those situations. For right now, what can I use help? What can help me right now in this moment? So mental balance acute, inner strength, positive thoughts. We just ran that today. I was running feel good system, bioenergetic defense, which those were formerly called the protection programs. I believe we changed it for, again, compliance reasons, but I use the bioenergetic defense programs all the time. I get anxiety in big crowds. I live in the country, and I don't even like going into cities because of it. Just there's so much energy. So the bioenergetic defense programs, you could run it for just general population. You could run it for electrosensitivity. If you spend all day looking at the computer or on your screen. Anybody who spends all day looking at screens? Planets, if you're very affected by we have a visitor. Sorry, we have a visitor here. Somebody who's very affected by the eclipses and things like that. So the bioenergetic defense programs are incredible for people who are empathic, people who
really sensitive
beings. So inner unity.
Mental, it has mental and emotion, mental and subtle energies as well, which I get that a lot. Cells.
All kinds of.
I was just thinking that I wish that I had this technology when I was in the depths of my stuff, because I know it would have helped me out so much. But that's why I feel so passionate about it now, just to be able to share it.
Yep. Well, that's exactly why you went through it.
That's why I went through it.
So
exactly,
you can help people get through it.
Exactly. It just feels like a responsibility to share, and it feels really good to do that.
Yeah,
it really does. And then for the energy lovers and light workers, there's so many of us out there, and this is such an incredible tool to add to your practice, whether you have a practice or you don't have a practice, and it doesn't take away from the the skills that the energy person has, it only enhances. Just like Anna, you were saying, it's like you have such great skills with tapping into people's energy. And this goes even a little deeper, or it confirms. It's like a confirmation in a sense that, Healy's also picking this up. And that's where the science comes in. It's kind of neat to actually get a scan and kind of, work in the spiritual realm and then see, this is happening as well, and it's picking it up. And I use this a lot with my clients as well, because it helps me get really deep with what's going on in their lives and in relation to feng shui, when they want to really make some changes in their life and in their home. Whatever's happening in their home is literally just a reflection of what's happening inside. And so it's been this most tremendous gift. I run the chakra programs, and that will go so deep into so many layers that you can really tap in so much quicker when you read a scan. And it's just fascinating. And then the Alaskan gem elixirs and Bach flower essences and I Ching, which is all, the book of changes and Chinese based. It's fascinating. The coherence program is bringing your heart and your brain in coherence. And it's just an amazing gift. These work a lot with the emotional, mental issues that are going on within the information field of the body and the spiritual aspect. And
we didn't even put on here the aura analysis.
Oh, right. Aura analysis. So that's what so you can run an analysis of the aura field, and it will scan what's going on in the chakras, and
it will pull up some stuff. We could go on and on. Anna, you've got some awesome stories for this too. It will pull up stuff that you are just like, how does it know?
And I think what I've been noticing recently, and I think you and I did this, but it makes me aware how much I've been absorbing other people's energy, because when I do an aura scan for myself, and I have just spent some emotional time with someone, or they've been heavy on my heart. And if I haven't cleared my field, or if I haven't kind of let that energy go of whatever they are carrying, it will show up in my aura field. And that really just goes to show how we all are connected, and how important it is to really keep ourselves clear and of other energy. I just love that about the aura scans.
And one more thing that because mental health is something that's very predominant in my life. And so one thing that happened for me recently, a testimony that I will share, is my sister, who's been really struggling lately. I will pull her aura scan, and her crown chakra is always like gone. Like it's the lowest of the low. And I realized, I think I put this together a couple of months ago, like mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
We think our head, and the crown chakra, there's an imbalance there. Mm-hmm. So she is not connected to whatever it is that she believes in, her higher self, her higher power. She is not connected. No. And that her crown chakra being so low is a definite link to her mental health, her mental well-being. And there's such a need for mental health support right now. Yeah. This, people might not be into the spiritual aspect. And I personally wasn't either. I didn't get into all of this stuff until I needed to heal and was guided right to it. But I had never heard about chakras or anything like this growing up. But now I realize how linked they are. And Absolutely. So this tool allows people to connect those missing links, the physical body to the spiritual body, and the spiritual body to the mental body. And it's incredible.
I know.
Okay.
It's so incredible. Even just the knowledge when you read what comes up for you is just so eye-opening. Even if you don't even send the frequencies back to your body to kind of balance everything out, just that awareness alone is so empowering. So this really empowers in so many ways.
And to tie in what Dr. Tobi said in the very beginning, when she says, just go sit down with Ashley and she'll do a scan. Yeah. This is what I do.
Yeah.
I pull up a bunch of scans, and then I put together a picture of what's going on. And that's why people sit down with me and book appointments with me, because they can't believe what came up.
Yeah.
Without them even telling me. They can't believe that I know about their emotional, trauma from, when they were a kid, or their gut issues that they didn't tell me about, or
Mhm.
whatever. It
Yeah.
just comes up, and I tell them what comes up and ask if that resonates with them, and they book an appointment because they can't believe what's coming up.
And it's very time saving too, isn't it? Because it
Yeah.
gets right to the bottom.
Yeah,
And it depends how open someone is too, and really
of course.
on owning that part of themselves and opening up. But it really does really get to the root.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part of it.
Like, let's heal people now. Let's do it now.
Let's let themselves heal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And then don't forget our beloved pets.
Oh, where's Mo?
Oh, I don't have my dog right here. We thought this would be good time to put him on our laps, but there's a specific program just for pets. And these are just a few of the things that they offer: irritant reactions, eyes, suffering, hypersensitivity, and joints. I haven't even gotten into this yet. You can use your regular Healy as well for your pets, but they have a whole specific program for our pets. And I've used it for my dog that we had to put down last year. I was using the Bach flower essences for him, and when it scanned, it would really just show the condition that he was in, and it helped me let go a little faster to say, okay, it is time for him to go, because there would be a lot of suffering that came up, and like the inability to go on. Like there was just all these different things that would come up. And I also scanned him for pain quite a bit, and he kept getting migraine and jaw pain. That was his number one. And he had Cushing's disease, and the vet had said that it's a tumor either on the pituitary gland or on the adrenals. And there's different ways to kind of treat that. And when I told her, hey, I've been using this frequency device, and it picked it up that he always has a lot of pain in his head, then she confirmed that, yeah, it's probably because it's in his pituitary gland. And that helped us tailor his treatment. And so I'm looking forward to really getting a lot deeper into this program. I scanned my little Bichon last night, and he's really been a little more he's been more anxious recently, and nerves came up as number one. So I sent him the frequencies to that. So you can send frequencies via just through scalar energy. You can also hook them up to microcurrent. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and we have a friend who is very in love with her dogs, and something was wrong with one of her dogs, and she couldn't figure it out, and it kept pulling up the jaw program too, or the tooth program. And then when she started paying attention more, she realized like he was chewing differently. She didn't notice it before she kept pulling up the scan.
Yeah.
And that's when she took it to the vet, and they found some kind of like abscess or something in the jaw or the tooth. And it's like, because poor animals can't tell us what's going on.
No, they can't, and they hide it so well. They really do.
Yeah.
And they take our stuff on as well. So that's a whole nother story. But
Such a different story.
Yeah.
But they definitely do that. They're our little healers.
They are.
So let's not forget them. Okay, so we could go on and on and on. But the question is, does this resonate with you? If you have a perfect person in mind who you were like, yes, that they would love this. This is right up their alley. And just like when I found out about it, I had 20 people who I was like, oh my God, they're going to love this just like I love it. So if you are resonating with this and you're like, I need to get this for this person, or if you need to get it for yourself, here are your Healy options. So there's actually four different editions, but these are the three most popular ones. The Healy Gold is $506 US dollars. The reason why they're a little off is because they're usually in euros that we translate to US dollars. The Healy Gold has 11 programs. It is just microcurrent only, which is amazing for somebody who, price point, they just need to stick with the Healy Gold. You get the Gold Cycle, which has 7 programs in it, everything that you would need for well-being, bioenergetic support, the pain program, and the Healy Advisor Search Module, which we're not going to get into right now, but it's a great offer. I mean, it is, somebody could completely transform their life with this entry level edition. And what's great about the Healy is you could always add on. So say you want to get it for your friend or your sister, whatever, and you want to get the gold, but you know that they would love the beauty program. They have to have the beauty program. So you could also get the beauty program and add it to your Healy Gold for a very low subscription price. So I don't want you to think that you have to get one of the higher models. You can always pick and choose. So the Healy Resonance, that is the most popular one. That is the $1,500 model, and it comes with all of those programs for microcurrent that you see there. It also comes with the ability to scan. So we've been talking a lot about the scan, what comes up when we scan and we look at our cells, and we use the example of the liver and, you know, the nails and all of that. That is the resonance program that we are talking about. And then there is the professional program, which, you know, if you had this starting out, you would basically have enough programs and information for the next 4 years of your life. If you did it every single day, it's a lot. But if you're a professional, or you know of a professional who would love this, then that's the one. It literally has everything that Healy has to offer. And that one is why it has the higher price point at $4,000. So the one that's missing is $1,000, and that is also just microcurrent programs, but a lot more microcurrent programs. So you've got a 500, 1,000, and those are just microcurrent, and then the 1,500 with the addition of the scanner, and then the $4,000 one, which has literally every program that we have, which I've been working with Healy for over a year, and there are still programs that I don't even have because I haven't even had time for them. But that doesn't mean that they're not amazing. So
yeah. Like vitalization I've been doing, it's included in the professional, and I pay for that just because that one's all stem cells and epigenetics. And so it's nice that there's options and ways you can add subscriptions or not. So, and there's a lot to this, but whomever invited you, they can help guide you with this.
Right. And so I'm not sure, Kristen just touched on it. Whoever invited you to this call has a specific link for your Healy. And the reason why that is because otherwise, how would you understand what all of this is? Somebody really needs to explain it to you. Right in the beginning, Amazon actually tried to buy Healy, but the founder is very passionate about getting this into the right hands and explaining it so people can use it. And can you imagine who would actually click on this on Amazon? Like, people wouldn't know what it is.
Any idea.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the person who invited you on this call or sent the recording to you, they have a special link that you can purchase your Healy from. So make sure you get that from them. And you can get this gift for one person. You can get it for a whole family. I know $500 sounds like a lot, but instead of getting one for your sister, brother, and their kids, why not just get one for the whole family? Because one device can help the mom with stress, the dad with his pain, the kids with their schooling. Like it can do everything. So it's just the perfect gift for everyone. And if you purchase your Healy from now until December 31st, we have a little promo for you.
Yeah, we get a Healy coil is extra. You get it for free, which is an accessory from Healy. It allows the IMF programs to be transmitted wirelessly, and it's even approved for children and pets. And I'm actually wearing mine right now, and it just kind of attaches to the back of the Healy. So there's 3 different ways that you can, Healy can deliver frequencies and to your body. And this is kind of the 3rd way, which is really neat. So you're not hooked to the cords with this particular way, and you can just wear it all day long. You can send frequencies all day long to yourself. There's no limit with using this, which is really amazing.
With microcurrent, you can only do 3 programs a day.
Yep. So thank
you everyone. That was a lot. I know.
It always is.
Yeah, we're very passionate about it. We're super excited. We probably could have talked for another hour or 2 about everything. But we do want to thank you for being here. And if anybody has any questions, we could take them now.
You have a question?
Yes,
Yay.
Dr. Tobi.
Yes.
So I have a question. So for me, it's easiest just to send people to you, and you can do the scan and teach them how to use it. But What's the difficulty in teaching someone? Like, how many sessions would it take for them to learn it? I know that you use your cell phone. Like, what's entailed when someone gets their own Healy? Like, what do they need to do?
Yeah,
Good question.
that's a great question. And it really depends on the person. So I've had people, everyone from people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm really bad at tech stuff, like, older people, to younger people who never even ask a question, because most people are pretty efficient with technology these days. I or whoever like sent you the link can help you, but also when you get your Healy, there are step-by-step guides. And if somebody doesn't like a little easy guidebook, there are step-by-step videos
and PDFs.
Yeah. Really what's entailed is they download an app or two apps,
Yeah.
depending on whether they have which edition they get, but they'll definitely download the one app for microcurrent. And if they buy the one with the scanner, they will download 2 apps. And then it's just a matter of charging your Healy, turning the Healy on, opening the app that you want to use, and then it'll just walk you through the process. It's actually really simple. I know what we went over sounds like it could be super difficult, but most people just get it and run with it.
And you play with it too. You just develop a relationship with it. And that's part of the process because you're working with a quantum field. So it's interesting how it kind of, you use your intention whenever you are, if you're going to scan yourself, you use the intention, maybe a positive affirmation opposite of how you feel, to tap into what information is going to come in that's going to help resonate with me and help me feel better, send me the frequencies that I need. And
but that's someone who might be even more advanced, which is available for anyone. I mean, the whole idea of Healy is to get in touch with yourself and learn, about yourself and get in touch with what you need. So, if someone heard that, they might be like, oh my gosh, that's too much for me. And some people that might be like
totally
I know that resonates with immediately.
Yeah. So there's different ways
so there's
to use
different levels.
You could just use it for pain. I mean, if you're feeling pain, you just do the pain program. If you want energy, use the energy program. You don't have to go really deep down the rabbit hole, but you can.
Yeah.
So there's so many, and so you just kind of start out wherever you are with it and just know that you can take it as far as you want.
Yeah.
And there's so much support within our community. We are always training and doing a weekly call. We're always a drop of a hat away just because we love this and we really want people to understand it. But there's so much support through Healy now. Healy has grown so much so quickly. And so there is a lot of support to kind of get you through the basics. And then we expand upon it and we share how we're using it in our and we learn testimonials from each other. It's a really, that's a great question though.
Right.
It's
but really, to simplify the answer, somebody could be, when they get their box in the mail, they could be up and running in 3 hours because it takes 2 hours to kind of charge your Healy. Download your apps. You could be running your first program in 3 hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not hard.
No, it's not.
Okay. So my other question then is, I know this is hard to answer because typically it's hard to answer for chiropractic patients as well. Like when people want to know, like, how long will it take for me to notice benefits or changes? I mean, I imagine you have some who notice it after the very first session and maybe others it might take multiple. Is that what you find, that depending on maybe the severity of their issue, it might take longer for them to see changes?
Yeah, I have had the rare occasion where people have had immediate benefits, like the rare occasion being not so rare. So I wish that she was on the call today, a woman who has bone cancer, and she is in pain constantly. She tried it and she did the pain program for 20 minutes. And she said that her pain, which is constant, and is usually a 7. I think she said it was like a 2 or a 3 in 20 minutes. So
that's
I would
amazing.
say, without putting my foot in my mouth, that most people see some kind of result almost after a couple of sessions.
Yeah, and it depends what you're using. I mean, if you're, for instance, gastrointestinal.
Oh, yeah.
My
Good point.
gosh, every single time if my stomach's upset, I'll use it, and instantly, like within the program period, usually before it's over, I feel better. Pain, I've noticed many people have benefited from pain. If you're getting more into soul well-being or something like that, that's a different type of thing that may take longer. Or hormonal issues, you want to be consistent with it. So, and like Anna using the SCAR program, if you just use it one time, but she was consistent, but you only use it for like a week to a week and a half. And that's pretty amazing. And everyone's different too, but it's and I'm sure you probably say the same thing. Like when I leave the chiropractor, sometimes we're like, oh my God, I just feel so much better. You almost feel high sometimes because you just feel freer in your body. But then you have to kind of, and Healy is really meant to also to be used so that you are not as a vice, but to really embody more health, more good intention, like drink water, eat a good diet, just do those kinds of things as well. When you combine all of that, and I'm sure you would say this too, Dr. Tobi, that over time, these types of things will really help expand yourself. And I love the fact that it raises your frequency. It's like you can't even measure that. That's a whole nother thing that you can talk about. But
it's very individual.
It is very individual.
Yeah.
Anna, did you have a question?
I was just going to say the first time that I ever used the device was with Ashley. And, at first I was like, I don't even know if this is doing anything. And then literally drove off in my car and like all of a sudden started crying out of nowhere. There was nothing I was sad about. There was nothing I was like crying because I was overly happy. I was just like, what is happening? Things are falling down my face. And honestly, that's when I was like, okay, this worked on a whole different level that you don't even consciously know how deep it actually goes. And so sometimes you might not feel the effects, or you might not experience the same type of stem. You can feel like the buzzing sensations, and you're like, oh yeah, this is working, because you can physically feel it while it's happening. But it's not about that. It's not about feeling it while it's happening. It's figuring out how it affects you, in the moment, to like 20 minutes down the road and you're bawling your eyes out for no reason. So like, or your pain level drops to a 2 when you were at a 10 out of 10. So, and I do agree that it works on an individual level. So, something for me with the scar tissue is a chronic thing. And, my goal is to continuously try to use it in the same way to break down that scar tissue. That will probably take me longer, just because it's been 16 plus years with buildup of scar tissue. So it's not gonna just disappear overnight. But I understand that most likely when something's chronic, the more consistent you can be with it, the more you're gonna get out of it. And I mean, even with a week and a half, 2 weeks of time of using it, that's a pretty significant change.
Yeah.
So, and even with acute stuff, I've used it as soon as I felt a tension headache coming on. I run headaches and it's gone. Or if I'm on my cycle and I have really bad cramps, all I have to do, hook myself up, and the cramps completely go away. So like when you're talking about like what you're feeling and resonating in the moment, and what you're trying to accomplish or get out of it, if it's pain relief or whatever, there's programs for it, and they're effective, which is really cool. So anyway.
No, thank you for
That's really
sharing.
great.
We didn't really get into the cycles, but if anybody out there has bad cramps, that menstruation program is insane. You can actually feel it like vibrating on your organs.
Wow.
And you just used it for your toe. You just hurt your toe.
Oh
so,
gosh, yeah.
Tell them that story, because let's talk about instant relief.
Instant relief. It was. I was doing some major exercise barefoot, but the day before I realized that I had done some yoga, and I was really stretching out the bottoms of my feet so much that it hurt. But then it didn't hurt the day before. And then I did this major workout barefoot. And then I walked downstairs, I was like, wow, my foot, I couldn't even walk on my foot. It hurt that badly. And so I immediately just hooked up the Healy and I ran skin support and the pain program.
You
and
didn't
bone.
immediately do it.
Well-
You told me that you hurt your foot and I was like, use your Healy.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that was pretty quick after I talked to you. But
Yes.
see, that's why I need you. So sometimes we have these things and we're just like, wait, I've got this.
Because
It's in
my
pocket.
husband had literally
Yeah.
2 days before she hurt her foot, had slammed his finger in a door somewhere. And he was like, I'm going to have to cancel this thing that he was doing because he couldn't use his hand.
Mhm.
And so I pulled up in the program that tells you what to do. And it said the skin support
Yeah.
and the bone
Bone,
and joint.
bone and joint. Yeah.
And he did that. He put the electrodes right on his finger, right where it hurt. And he was like, by the end of it, he was like, he wants to poke holes in things, but he was like, I can't. This
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah,
And then you did that.
I
and
did
same.
it. It wasn't because I really had injured myself that day. It was still tender, but not nearly as tender as after I did it. But then the following day I was able to just completely walk, no pain. So that was really, really quick.
Yeah.
There's so many of those instant things. And then there's the things that just take longer. So it's, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Just real quick. So when you were talking about like using it for instant pain and that kind of stuff, I've almost associated it to the same way that I would say, okay, if I have a tension headache coming on and I need ibuprofen, instead of grabbing ibuprofen now, I grab my Healy device and I just like hook myself up real quick and then it's gone. And I think it works way faster than ibuprofen. And, you know, some people need that. And now I'm starting to associate it with, oh, well, instead of just doing that, what my brain goes to is like an old pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm like trying to reintegrate it in ways that, you know, what I would reach for before, now I have it in like my little mini medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you say that because I'm starting to notice that my body is getting programmed to certain frequencies. So like when I know I'm not going to have a good sleep, when I hit that program, my body knows that, oh, we're going to sleep now.
Mhm.
It's that quick.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So
really-
that kind of was a long way of answering how
Yeah.
quickly it works,
No,
but
that was a great question. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of people, we don't oftentimes talk about those kinds of questions, which I think is fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions, Dr. Tobi or Anna?
Let me think.
I made it count.
I don't think I have any right now. I think that the basic unit is decent to get someone started, but probably the advanced unit is probably more ideal if affordable. Yes.
If somebody was like, I'm resonating with everything you're saying, I love all of it, they would want to start with the resonance, which is the $1,500 one. Or if it's in their budget, the professional, because that literally has everything.
Yeah.
So, but again, you can always upgrade and you can always add on. So if someone's like, that was all very overwhelming, they cut out in the first 20 minutes because they heard enough to be interested, but they like couldn't take it in, they could get the, you know, the beginner program. And then 6 months, a year down the line, when they understand and they're using it and they love it, they can always upgrade.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And for patients that would be interested, do they do financing or is it just a one-time fee?
Yeah, that's a good question because a lot of people ask that. They don't do financing.
No, you just
Maybe that they will in the future if enough people ask, but right now they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could use a credit card to do payments
Basically,
that way.
it's credit card. That's the only way to purchase.
Anna?
One thing that I was just thinking is, you know, I have my own energy healing business. And one of the things that I always think about as a business before you hit year end is do you have it in your budget as a business for somebody that's doing kind of like my work, or they're in fitness, or, you know, whatever it is. if they have their own business, that this becomes a tool that you're using, you know, if you're using it for your business, and I used it for myself and my business, it's a write-off expense for me as a tool that I use. It's equipment that I use for my business, that, you know, I purchased within this year that makes it, you know, a write-off at the end of the year. So I don't know if you guys thought about that for year-end type stuff too, but yeah, it's helpful. And if you're truly looking at it from that perspective, you know, I have the professional, and I'm so grateful that I do. I mean, yes, it's expensive, but it's so worth it at the end of the day, especially because I'm using it for my clients and I'm just making that money back anyway. So just to,
And for yourself
Use
too.
it for yourself, and yeah,
yep, exactly.
and helping family and yourself and all the
Yep.
things, the ways that we save money and not having to necessarily take the pills or the drugs or,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, we were talking about when you were down and out,
Oh,
how
gosh.
often did you spend at the doctors,
Oh,
and how much
all the
money
time.
did you spend trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, forever. So much money, so much money.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of it is really needed. It's wonderful to get help.
Oh, yeah,
But, you know,
nothing else.
never saying that that's not important, but there was a lot of times where there was wasted amounts of money, trying one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. And that just ended up having me consumed with my own illness and all the time it took for me to go somewhere and put money out. This is such a tool that can help the entire family. So financially, in a beautiful way, it pays for itself. And it's, what's interesting is, for me, I wasn't looking at doing it as a business, but the more I shared it with people, it kind of just sells itself. And then if you have a link, you can make money back. So that's another thing, but that's another way to help pay for your Healy. Whether,
Absolutely.
you know, you can do it as a business or not a business, just sell a few or share a few, and that helps pay for yours, which is, there's so many creative ways in using this and making it so worth the money. I mean, it is just so worth it.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. I'll just keep going. If you guys allow me, I'll just keep going. So, have you had any experience with, like, I know that you just talked about all the different programs and, you know, ADD and brain and depression and anxiety. What about the big things we're hearing about these days? You know, autism. What about, you know, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia? What about, for me personally, brain injury, you know, things like that? Have you had personal experience with those, or do you know how the Healy could affect?
Really happy you asked that question. Well, first of all, you know, your son has done microcurrent, and we noticed that he was feeling more relaxed when he was doing it. There is an app, we brush right over it, but it comes with every Healy device. It's called the Heal Advisor Search app. I think that's what it's called. And it's run by Healy's medical board of advisors. So it's actually run by doctors, and you can put in any symptom in there. That's when we put in, yep. Oh,
Yeah,
Anna.
there you go. What's it?
Yeah. So
Autism, balanced nerves, learning
Learning
acute,
acute.
learning systematic, concentration acute, concentration cyst, stress systematic, fine flow, cell, general population, toxins, clean all, relax, balance,
Wow.
being first step. Yeah.
So
there's
essentially,
many.
the doctors have created this this library of illnesses or symptoms and the programs that are best associated with it. So you can do it that way. Also, another thing that we didn't even talk about was Healy is the baby of a bigger device and parent company called Time Waver. They've been around for, I think it's 15 years now. And Healy is a German device, as is Time Waver, a German technology and company. And so only practitioners like doctors can use the Time Waver. That is how the Carolyn McMakin that you know about, she is affiliated with Time Waver as well. So if there's something that is just very, very specific, and these people who have it aren't really seeing quick enough results, or they're just not sure if it's specific enough to what they're going through, you could actually work with one of these time waiver specialists. They can customize a program specifically for you, Kristen.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Mhm.
And then they will put that program onto your Healy. So do you want to tell your story?
Yeah. So I have worked with a time waiver specialist. I'm experiencing pigmentary dispersion, glaucoma. And so there are specific frequencies just for that. So any type of illness, time waiver machine has a frequency for everything. And then they can customize it specifically for you. So I'm using that in my Healy, and there's also another frequency device that you can get on top of that to help with those specific things. And I can't wait to go to the eye doctor just to see the improvement that I'm going to be experiencing. And I'm very excited about that. I haven't, my eye doctor appointment is in like a month or two, and I've been using it fairly consistently, and I'm very excited to see what that's going to do. But that's just, so we have access to the time waiver practitioners that can really fine tune things in a really specific way for you, that goes deeper than you trying to kind of figure out which program to use with Healy when it comes to these more specific issues that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there are several people on the frequency experience on the Facebook page that if you just type in like brain injury, or you type in dementia, those kinds of things, you will see so many testimonials of what people have done to help themselves and help others in that way.
And people are just so excited to like share and help people.
I know, yeah.
So there's always opportunities to go deeper than just using your Healy on your own.
And we're just getting started. I mean, it's been like a little over a year, but I imagine we just keep learning and growing, and all of us. And I think by the end of next year, we're just gonna have so many more testimonials and so many more ideas of how to use this thing. It's like the quantum field, and it's just so exciting to see.
Yeah, and people are just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I know,
and
right?
People who, and I'm sure Dr. Tobi, like you can attest to this, people who might not have gone to a chiropractor before are open to it because they're just sick of being in pain, and they'll try anything. So I do see a lot of results with those kinds of people who typically wouldn't even try something like a frequency device or microcurrent, and they're just like, I'm open to anything. I'm struggling. My life is so difficult right now that I'll just try anything. And a lot of times, those are the best. You know, it's the people who come to you and they're really into this kind of stuff, and they're already healthy, that they might not have as immediate or
noticeable,
intense experiences as somebody who is really down and out.
Yeah.
I know, because I remember when you first did your scan on me, I was thinking, this seems a little, I'm quite open-minded, but this seems a little out there for some of my patients, right? Like, all right, how are we gonna explain this one to them? Like, what are we gonna say? We're just gonna do a little energetic scan of your auras. And I'm like, you're gonna freak some people out when we say that to them. So this put on a nice, scientific presentation that I feel now that I would say, oh, I know how to say it to them now more comfortably than you just need to speak with Ashley, because
people really seem to resonate with the cellular voltage kind of description. People understand cells now, and they understand that they have a voltage, and they understand the whole battery and flashlight example. So I usually just tell people, I'm going to scan your cells to see what the voltage level is. And if there's any of your cells or systems that are deficient, it's going to show me. And then it does. And people are usually pretty, what's the word I'm looking for?
Receptive.
There you go.
Yeah. And Dr. Tobi, I'm so glad that you are open to this. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Being someone that is a doctor that is willing to go deeper into technology that's brand new, because there's a lot of doctors out there that I think could also benefit from it. And thank you for doing this service for all of us.
Oh, of course.
Okay,
I
cookies,
mean, I
yeah.
trust my
In
friend,
the oven.
Dr. Pam Herring, and when she says to do something, I usually listen because she's been around the block a few times. And I'm seeing people that are just so sick and so hopeless and helpless right now. And especially after what we just have been through in the past 2 years, right? They come to me for pain, and then they realize there's so much more that they're lacking, and their health is so compromised in so many ways, right? I mean, so many digestive problems and emotional issues and sleep issues. And, 9 out of 10 of my patients are on like anti-anxiety, antidepressants. I mean, it just blows my mind. So we need something, right? I mean, chiropractic takes them to a certain degree, and then we need more. So this is just a very synergistic with what I do, very complementary to what I do, helping people just get to the next level of healing, and take some responsibility too, because they can do it now on their own. So
Take
it's
responsibility.
huge. So yeah, I'm happy to have found you guys.
Yeah.
And we were kind of talking about this in the beginning. I know we're going way over, but this is an awesome conversation. So whatever, a lot of healers out there, when they find out about the Healy, they get a little nervous because they're like, well, wait a second, like if this is going to put me out of business, this is what I do. And it's like, look around you. There's never going to be a time when nobody needs healing, especially right now. We could literally have 100 clients out the door who need help with something basic that they don't know about, how to get better sleep or how to to even hydrate properly. Like there's never going to be we're never going to run out of people to help. And so we really need to empower people to take responsibility, and we can teach them how to do that. What's the saying? Teach them how to fish.
Teach them how to fish.
For the rest of their, or don't eat for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's really what we're doing. You can use it as a tool in your practice. You can sell it to your patients. It doesn't really matter. People are always going to need help. So
yeah, it doesn't take the place of the practitioner. Certain specific practitioners, we still need adjustments and things like that. But it really, nowadays, it's not about doing something for someone else. It's about empowering them to be empowered and take responsibility for their own health. And that's what I think is the biggest thing, because when we keep having someone else take care of us or fix us, we become unempowered, and we lose connection with our own intuition, our own body. And really, now we're in the age of Aquarius, where it's really all about empowering and collaboration and helping everyone. And the more the tide lifts all boats, so it just helps on so many levels when we can empower other people. And Healy is a great way to do it, in addition to other things.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't, even as an esthetician, and also what I'm doing now, I can't tell you the amount of people who want to reduce their wrinkles, feel better, be out of pain, who don't drink water.
Right.
It's like, because they're not thinking about it. The Healy is a tool that will literally show you in a program if you're dehydrated. And that we're not going to get into that now, but it'll show you. So it's just like one of those things. Go down, oh yeah, I haven't drinking any water today. Yes, I'm doing this program and this is going to be beneficial, but also I just need to drink water.
Yeah.
Or I just need to get rest and cancel these plans that I had today and just rest. So yeah. Well, anything else? Well, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was amazing.
I'm grateful to both of you and everyone who's watching the recording. I think this is, it's called Healy and The Holidays, but I feel like this is just so beneficial for any time of the year.
It absolutely is. And your questions and your testimonials were fantastic. It just takes it to a whole nother level for people to understand more deeply what we're talking about. So thank you so much for that.
All right.
Yeah, guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we will have many more, and we'll send you the
Yes.
recording
Yep.
if you didn't catch this. And Thank you.
Have
Have a
lovely
wonderful
holiday
yeah, a wonderful
season.
holiday season, wonderful rest of your weekend.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.
Bye, thank you.
Bye. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.